Hey y'all, thanks for checking out the Weekly Word. Usually we have a handful of announcements that we want you to be aware of, but this week our Weekly Word is going to focus on the details of our return to in-person worship. Next Sunday, September 13th at 11 o'clock in our sanctuary, we are going to have our first in-person worship in 6 months. We are excited. But there are a lot of details, a lot of procedures that we need to explain to you in preparation for in-person worship. And so I figured the best way that we could do that is just to run through a normal week and what will be asked of you and what the church will be doing to prepare for worship each Sunday. All right? So let's start with any given Monday for the foreseeable future. You're going to receive an email from the church office. And in that email, there is going to be a link to sign up to attend in-person worship. Now, of course, we have to physically distance, and doing that in our sanctuary is difficult. So we have to limit the number of people who can attend in-person worship. And so you're going to be invited to sign up early. You click that link and it takes you to an easy sign up. You put in your name and the number of people who are going to attend and then an email contact. And when you hit submit on that, we have two folks who are going to receive your reservation. Catherine Webster and Ann Trulock have agreed to coordinate our seating chart, right? Because we have to figure out how to place people inside our sanctuary to make sure that everybody is safe. Now, when you sign up, you are going to be consenting to live in covenant community with your church. And so part of the covenant that we are making to each other is to keep each other safe. And so when you sign up for worship, you are agreeing that you will wear a mask during worship for the entirety of worship, and that you will practice physical distancing while you are here at the church. And so when you sign up, just know that that is what you are consenting to living in covenant community with your church family. All right, so you sign up on a Monday, we get that reservation, and throughout the week, we are moving people around, making the puzzle pieces fit perfectly so that we can get the maximum number of folks in worship. We know that under perfect circumstances, we could seat about 96 people physically distanced within our sanctuary, but we're actually not going to reach that number. That number is probably going to be a good bit lower, mostly because of the combinations that we're going to have to do to make everybody physically distanced inside the sanctuary. Okay? So we imagine somewhere between 50 and 75 folks will be able to attend worship every single week, and we hope that we have that many people who attend. And if so, if we need to provide additional worship opportunities, your worship ministry will make sure that we do that. All right. So you sign up on a Monday, you go through the week, we're putting all the puzzle pieces together. When you show up on a Sunday, what is it going to look like? Well, we're going to have 3 greeters in two different areas on our church property. One's going to be in the front lawn for those of you who park across the street in the Methodist and Baptist parking lot and make your way over. We're going to direct you around the sanctuary, and then those who either park in the church parking lot or over in the cultural center parking lot, we're going to have 2 greeters who are going to direct you in the right way. All right, so what is the right way? Where are we gathering on Sunday mornings? Well, the brick walkway that goes from Johnson Street down to the entrance door of the sanctuary under the colonnade, that is going to be our queue line. Okay, so we're going to line folks up there, physically distanced, of course, and you come by yourself or with your family, and that's where you'll line up. Everyone is going to enter the sanctuary through the door under the colonnade. When you get to that brick walkway and you start distancing as a line forms, okay, there are going to be 2 different levels of greeters. One level of greeter is going to be someone who takes your temperature and gets you to sign in. When you sign in, you are releasing the liability of the church. Okay, you're signing a liability release form, but it also allows us to be able to know who exactly is in worship. Okay, they'll take your temp, you'll sign that sheet of paper, and then they'll pass you off to the next level of greeters, and they are going to be our greeters who help you find your seat in worship. So 2 folks will be sending you in different directions, and they'll tell you, well, you are seated in A1, okay, or B3. They'll let you know what row you are seated in and where to sit. All right, then let's talk about what you can expect in worship. Worship is going to look a lot different for us, right? We're going to exchange congregational singing, which we will not do for the foreseeable future. We're going to exchange that for an emphasis on instrumentalist and on soloist. And we are really excited because our musicians have been working really hard to prepare for this new form of worship. They're excited to share their gifts and to glorify God in their playing and in their singing, and we're grateful for them. Okay, so one thing you need to know is we won't be singing congregationally for a while. Okay, we also won't be doing a traditional offering that is passing the plate, although we will be asking you to return a token of God's many blessings to you in an offering. It'll be alternative, and we'll show you and tell you how to do that on any given Sunday. Okay? We are also going to be seating people, obviously, in a rather coordinated way, and we will be dismissing folks in a very coordinated way. So those same people who sat you, they will actually help us dismiss orderly after worship every Sunday. We're going to ask you not to congregate too much with each other, although we know seeing each other is going to be really exciting for you. Please continue to practice physical distancing. Okay, so that's what worship will look like. We'll not have congregational singing, but we will have beautiful, God-glorifying music. We won't have offering, but we will have an opportunity to show generosity to God. One other thing, we are not going to practice communion together in the sanctuary. We're going to continue to practice drive-through communion. And one of the reasons we're going to do that is because that will allow us, whether we are worshiping in person or virtually, it will allow us to share in the body and blood of our Savior Jesus Christ as one church community. So we're going to continue to practice drive-through communion. Okay, for those who know it is not safe for you to return to in-person worship, we want you to know that our communications ministry team, we have transitioned and we will be live streaming worship every Sunday. Okay, so we will be on YouTube Live and we'll have links on Facebook as well. And so at 11 a.m., if you log on to YouTube or you log on to the Presbyterian Church page on Facebook, you can take part in worship virtually. Okay? Now, if you can't log on at that time, those worship services will be recorded and they'll be archived on Facebook and on YouTube. We'll be sending them out to you as well so that you can take part in the worship of God. I know a lot of you have really appreciated the convenience of being able to listen to a sermon or listen to music or worship God later in the day on Sunday or even on Monday or Tuesday of the following week. You'll still be able to do that. It'll just be in a little bit different form, not a bunch of different videos, just one long live stream. All right, a couple of odds and ends. I told you about the queue line that's going to form on the brick walkway from Johnson Street to the Colonnade. That means we're going to be asking you not to come through the education building, except for one thing. If you need to use the restroom while you're here, the bathrooms are going to be available to you. Or if you need to drop your child off at the nursery, we will provide nursery services during our service of worship. Okay? All right. That's all the details that I could tell you about. We've been working really hard to formulate a worship service that will be glorifying to God and engaging for all who come. We are also working hard to make sure that if you can't be here, you can still worship God with your church family and have elements of worship like communion that we all together can share with one another. Last thing, you'll get the email on Monday for signing up, and we're going to cut sign-ups off at about 5 o'clock on Friday afternoon. Okay? So we need time to figure out where to position people in the sanctuary, and we need that day before worship, that 36 hours before worship, to know where people are going to be. That doesn't mean if you don't sign up by 5 o'clock on Friday that you can't attend worship. What it means, though, is that you have to be willing and ready to show up on a Sunday morning and know that there might not be a seat for you in worship. But if you're willing to wait and take a little time and enjoy the beauty of our church garden, then we hopefully will be able to find you a seat in the sanctuary. Friends, these are all of the details that we've been working on for months now. Your worship ministry team, your communications ministry team, we are trying in every way as a staff as well to be fully prepared to provide for worship that is safe and that is also glorifying to God. So if you feel called by God to attend in-person worship, we hope to see you next Sunday at 11 o'clock in our sanctuary. You'll get an email on Monday, on Labor Day, where you'll be able to sign up for worship. We hope to see you there. Whether you can come to in-person worship or whether you're going to continue to worship virtually, know that today we are sending you grace and peace.